abreast, often imitated, never duplicated, the greatest show under the world of outlaws.
Hello race fans, and welcome for a great event here tonight in NASCAR's home backyard of Charlotte Motor Speedway. Why is it such a big event? Well, here is why: because it is now time to get serious in the Extreme Motorsports 99.com Xfinity Series, because it is now beginning of the chase for the championship in Extreme Motorsports 99's Xfinity Series, chase race number 1 here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. I'm Tanner Sharp up here in the booth. Alongside me is Mr. David Everly here doing the double duty with all the button pushing and plus help me call some of the action here. And Dave, welcome to NASCAR's home backyard. This is the Charlotte Motor Speedway. A lot of historical things have happened here at this racetrack. One of them being the World 600, one of the longest races on the NASCAR schedule. And NASCAR does come to this track during the playoff series, or in this case, the chase. But they are using the Roval part in the real life format. Today, we're just using the oval. What do you know about Charlotte Motor Speedway?
Oh, all I know about this track, it is one of my favorite tracks, not to just watch, but be out on the track. It is fast, you have grip, but the only thing is, you got about 25 laps where you can pretty much hold that down to the pedal, but then them tires are going to wear. That's when your throttle control is definitely going to be a key component here tonight. As those tires wear, you're going to slow down. The people that can save their tires the most is going to be there at the end.
This racetrack opened up in 1960. In the corners of the racetrack, 24 degrees of banking and 5 degrees of banking on the straightaways. That's the front stretch and the back stretch. And you mentioned it, holding it wide open. Well, you can probably do it here because the weather time setting here at Charlotte is an overcast setting, but it's fairly warm outside, just like I am up here in the booth. It is 82 degrees out there in air temperature and 83 degree track temperature, so that should make a little bit of a wide open distance, but yeah, you could burn off some tires right away, like you said there, Dave, so that's something we're going to keep an eye on as this event goes on. But let's talk about the drivers here. We got 12 drivers advancing into the championship chase, and I'm going to name off those drivers here in just a split second to get my list up ready to go here. All right, and I'm going to read down the list here. Eric Tesk with 5 wins. He's going to be on top of the board. Bryce Whitson Jr. in second with a win. Mike Rominger with a win in third. Tommy Haynes in 4th with 1 win. And Jason Wells with 1 win in 5th. Now, all these other drivers got in by points, so John Wimbish is going to be starting 6th in points. Hunter McDaniel in 7th. Marty Ray in 8th. Travis Pryor, 9th. Bryce Sinisek rounding out the top 10. 11th, Wally Tierheimer. And 12th, Richie Evans. And drivers who just missed it was David Elliott and Joshua Gillen. So unfortunate for those drivers, but I tell you what, just because you're not in the chase doesn't mean you don't have a chance. You have a chance to go for a race for honor. Try to get a victory under your belt here at Charlotte. Though right now the drivers are starting to grid up here. Practice and qualification have completed. So let's start with the grid here, Dave. Starting on the pole tonight, John Wimbish. Congratulations, John, for getting the pole here at Charlotte. You're on the pole. He'll be side-by-side starting in 2nd spot, Mike Rominger. 3rd place, Richie Evans in the 24 car. And David Elliott in the Texas Roadhouse Camaro. Love that paint scheme. We'll start 4th. Bryce Sinisek is going to be in 5th. Tommy Haynes in 6th. Steve Dutz in 7th. Joshua Gillen in 8th. Bryce Whitson and Be The Match or Camaro is going to start in 9th. And in 10th, Michael Atkins Jr. Hunter McDaniel is going to start in 11th. 12th place, championship leader coming into tonight with 5 wins on the season, Eric Tesk. Marty Ray in 13th tonight. Robert David Ballantyne starts 14th. 15th, Brent Kuhl. 16th place is Gary Wubbolt. 17th, Randy Perdue. 18th place on the grid, Jeremy Rigney. Wally Tierheimer will start in 19th, and Chris Voiles rounds out the top 20. Blackjack position, Nick Hunt in 21st, the first driver who did not take a qualification time. Travis Pryor starts 22nd, and 23rd, Andy Starcher. I think Andy, it's either he's the off-track official or he's racing tonight. But nonetheless, there's 23 drivers on the entry list. And to identify a chase driver, who do we got on camera here that we can identify here, Dave?
Well, we got John T. Wimbish. He's in the chase. We got him there.
But he's not. We're using the banner though. Let's go to Bryce Whitson. Bryce Whitson's got one. To identify some of the chase drivers, they'll have a red Xfinity on top of their windshield of the car and a red splitter. The majority of the chase drivers will be using that throughout the entire chase. Wimbish, I did not see have one. Unless I would have to update my trading paints. And looks like race control will be Andy Starcher, so 22 drivers taking the field with Travis Pryor, a chase contender, starting out, tailing Charlie out back. All right, we're going to take one pace lap here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway here. We're going to be coming to take the green flag this time by, going down the back straightaway. This racetrack has seen some great improvements throughout the years in NASCAR, especially that big old television screen, that flat screen on the back straightaway for all the fans to enjoy. That was implemented back in 2011. Now we're going to be coming to take the green flag here at Charlotte for chase race number 1. It is, if you were dominant during the regular season, you got some heavy momentum and you should stay dominant. If you're a little off in the regular season and you still made the chase, well, you better get your butt going, because here we go. We're green flag racing at Charlotte. Nice start to the race by John Wimbish. Looks like number 9, Mike Rominger, might be challenged by the 24 car of Richie Evans. Nothing producing just there. Coming off turn 2 for the first time. Everybody kind of remaining in single file here. First side-by-side battle is back there with Bryce Whitson. And I do believe he's battling with Joshua Gillen for 8th right now. Coming off turn number 4, John Wimbish leads the first lap. There is a challenge up towards the front just a little bit. Number 17, Tommy Haynes, trying to look underneath David Elliott in the 42. side by side, and you can run flat out here on an overcast setting for a little bit. It's going to be interesting if we stay green flag. Will the tires wear off? Right now, it looks like it's going to be hard battling right now between Elliott and Haynes for that 4th spot. That is the first side-by-side battle within the top 5. Followed closely behind of the 09, Bryce Sinisek. There's some drivers that are not using the Xfinity banner, so so if, like John Wimbish, so if I don't call out that Wimbish is in the chase, I apologize. Usually all the chase drivers are supposed to be driving with their windshield banners. Coming across the line, it's still a side-by-side battle for 4th. Now, Dave, what do you think? Do you think these drivers are wearing off their tires a lot quicker than others since they're battling so hard for position right away?
Well, actually, no. Charlotte's got multi-grooves. You can run that low line. You can run the mid line. So I don't really know, but I think the people up on top is doing a little better at saving tires. So you might see them later on in the run start moving their way back up to the front.
Well, I want to see how David Elliott, he just lost about 2 spots on the racetrack, so I just kind of want to see how well he's going to do here. Looks like he's going to settle. He's still up at a higher line. Now getting passed by Steve Dutz in the 60, and then followed by Bryce Whitson. Michael Atkins Jr. is following closely behind these cats back here. This is all around the, about the 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th area. Actually, this is probably the biggest part of the battle of the racetrack right now. John Wimbish still leads the race. Here's some more side-by-side battling. Whitson trying to get underneath Dutz. Atkins got underneath Elliott. Washing up the racetrack goes Atkins. Elliott on the higher line of the racetrack. I think it's a little early. We can catch him later. We'll see how well. And sometimes when you're running the bottom for maybe the opening stages of a race, sometimes you got to change that up and start running the higher line. Right now, I'm not really seeing anybody operate in the higher line unless they're side by side. And I did not capture the fuel window here. The fuel window 65% in a 133 lap race here tonight. The daytime setting, of course. So I'm going to guess on a limb about 50 laps. That's my guess. 45 laps, actually. Actually, no, it'd be less than that. Nonetheless, Atkins has been moving up a couple positions. Just past Dutz. Actually, he's in front of Dutz here. Dutz is in the 60 car. Move Atkins Jr. up to 7th. He is a driver that's gained 3 spots since the drop of the green flag. Same with Bryce Whitson. Driver that's fallen back, now outside the top 10, David Elliott. Started 4th, now in 11th. Another driver that's starting to make noise within the top 15, Travis Pryor, started 22nd. He's already up to 15th. And then number 81 car. Run back there. I believe that is the Autism Awareness Camaro. John Wimbish still leads Mike Rominger about 0.2 of a second out there on the speedway. You can fold the top 3 drivers over a blanket, separated by 0.4 of a second. Eye on that if the race lead does change. Now Steve Dutz is now stuck on the higher side back there. He just got passed by Hunter McDaniel. These drivers are racing pretty aggressive with each other. They might go 3 wide. Oh, getting a little racy. That 40 car almost got underneath Dutz. That 40 car is Joshua Gillen. And you can really, these guys back here are really racing with each other. There goes Elliott under Dutz. Elliott's trying to make a comeback after losing a number of positions in the early going. Side-by-side battle back there. Eric Tesk is involved. He is about where he started right now in the number 96 of Eric Tesk. Getting passed by Robert David Ballantyne in the 20 car. Both side-by-side racing down that back straightaway.
Tanner, we got a race here for second as Richie Evans and Mike Rominger. We're going at it. Richie Evans is going to be able to complete the pass over Mike Rominger up into second. But that little bit of battle gave a little bit of breathing room to John T. Wimbish between John T. Wimbish and Richie Evans.
Some good eyes there, Dave. I was watching towards the back while you were watching up towards the front. You're right. Richie Evans now up there, now in second spot. Wimbish liked that little battle to pull a little bit of a gap.
Also here in the back, though, we've got almost 3 wide with Eric Tesk. As it looked like Joshua Gillett almost into the outside wall there. Is Travis Pryor, Marty Ray, Eric Tesk, David Ballantyne. We've got David Elliott and Steve Dutz all battling. So we're looking from right about 9th place back in a nice little hornet's nest. The only bad thing, one minor mistake could take out all these cars.
Is it a good idea to be racing this aggressively back here? This has been a hornet's nest for the last how many laps now? But at least 5 laps. Dutz is on the bottom underneath Ballantyne back there. Oh man, some drivers, I think the back end almost came around on Dutz. Dutz a little sideways. He's going to get a go around. Oh, we got a car in the grass as well going down pit road. Who is that back there? Car in the apron. That was the number 65. That was Marty Ray. He is a championship contender. Not showing it, but he's spinning again.
There was another car there. I don't know who it was. It looks like the 96 of Eric Tesk.
Oh, Eric Tesk is around on the back straightaway.
Let's see if we can go back to the replay here. As he was side by side with Dutz. It just looked like maybe netcode, maybe the back end kicked around there. But as we focus on the 96 of Eric Tesk, he got 5 wins. Contact between him and the 60, and he goes around. He also makes contact with the 60, but oh, he's got a little front end damage, but he keeps it off the wall. But we are still green flag.
Looks like he came down a little bit on Dutz, and it may look like netcode, but he was coming down. He did door him. That's very unfortunate, but maybe he can collect the caution to catch right back up and get some of that damage repaired. I knew that was a trouble spot back there because those guys are racing really aggressive in the early stages of this race here. Travis Pryor going around Dutz right now for 11th.
Yeah, that's one thing that you really cannot afford here is a bad race. Starting off with the first race of the chase, starting off with a bad race, that is just going to put you in an uphill battle. So we need to see Eric Tesk. He is probably hoping on a caution so that he can get regrouped here, get back into his groove, because the one thing he does not want to do is have a very bad race.
Battle for the lead brewing up. Back in turn number 1 and 2. Richie Evans went to the inside on Wimbish, could not complete the pass, lost a little momentum. Well, these guys are back to single file, 1, 2, 3. There is a little bit of a battle back here, though, between 3 cars. Tommy Haynes, Bryce Sinisek, and Bryce Whitson. 3 drivers have been kind of a little bit all over each other just a little bit, trying to find their different lines on the racetrack. Sinisek operating the higher line of the speedway. Gets a nice run down the back straightaway on the 17 of Tommy Haynes. This is and here comes Atkins and Hunter McDaniel. This is all a battle for 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th. Actually, it's probably the busiest battle on the speedway. Looks like the higher line is working now. Can't get the good run on corner exit for Tommy Haynes in the 17. Ooh, some close racing from, towards the front here, Dave. It's actually really exciting. Bryce Whitson. It's Bryce versus Bryce right now for 4th. Man, Bryce Whitson's got a fast car. Coming from 9th, and he's been picking them up and dropping them down ever since the drop of the green.
Yeah, it's just... I mean, they got to be careful, though, because there's a lot of fast drivers behind him. The 17 of Tommy Haynes is another fast driver. You've got Hunter McDaniel back there. You got Michael Atkins Jr., who we have seen do really strong runs. So it'll be interesting.
Hate to say this, but Marty Ray is 2 laps down because when he spun through the grass area, he actually went down pit road, and iRacing gave him a black flag for it, and I don't believe it was cleared at all. No, it was not, so he's 2 laps down. He had to serve that penalty, and he's a championship contender. I do believe he's a championship contender. I gotta double check my notes here. Marty Ray, yes he is. He was 8th in the championship standings coming into this race. Hunter McDaniel trying to get underneath Atkins Jr. for Michael Atkins Jr. for 6th. Atkins is having a pretty good run today. Not in the championship, but pretty competitive out there. Got a battle for the race lead brewing up. Richie Evans thought about going underneath through in the quad oval on the front stretch here. Still utilizing the bottom. That's the difference between first and second, is that you're using 2 distinctive lines. Richie Evans wants to go for the race lead. Let's see how this is going to play out. Steve Dutz has brought his vehicle to the garage. Battle for top spot. John Wimbish got him to the line there. He's led the first 24 laps. Wimbish versus Evans. Evans doing a very good job trying to hold it on the bottom, but Wimbish gets a nice run down the back straightaway. And that means Evans cannot complete the pass. Mike Rominger does not take it 3 wide or anything. Really has nowhere to go, but all that battling for the race lead has kind of brought Bryce Whitson into this mix because he's catching all 3 of them cats up towards the front. Rominger doesn't have a Xfinity banner on his car either, and Rominger's a chase driver. I do believe, let's see here, is Richie Evans, yep, Richie, yeah, all top 4 drivers are chase drivers right now. Double checking my notes here. Can fold over a blanket 0.3 of a second of the top 4, and there goes Whitson on the bottom of Rominger. Man, I tell you what, Whitson's really making that bottom lane. He can really make that thing stick and become pretty even with the driver on the outside lane. Battle for the race lead as well. Both side-by-side racing to the line. First lead change of the race, Richie Evans. So John Wimbish led the first 27 laps. And now we got a new leader, Richie Evans, out front. Bryce Whitson got 3rd away from Mike Rominger. Great race in the opening stages of this race. Oh, did Wimbish get into the wall? Or was it just close? Lost a lot of momentum. Maybe going for 3 wide right here. He did not. Yeah, very close to the wall last time by, and out of turn number 4 for John Wimbish. Right now, Wimbish is under attack by Bryce Whitson. Whitson on the bottom in the 99, BeTheMatch.org Camaro. And then you got Richie Evans in the, trying to read, is that AutoNelson.com Ford? So Bryce Whitson goes to 2nd place. Mike Rominger is going to try to take it away from John Wimbish for 3rd. Behind these, a little bit further back, for about 5th place, 6th place, Hunter McDaniel and Michael Atkins Jr. These two drivers have been battling for a little while now. Hunter McDaniel trying to get that spot from Michael Atkins. Cannot complete the pass just yet. Followed closely behind Bryce Sinisek. Mike Rominger battling for third on John Wimbish. Completes the pass. So Rominger moves to third. I will keep an eye on the race lead, just kind of going through the field here to see if there's any more battles kind of going on. Hunter McDaniel and Sinisek seems like the closest battle. Yeah, that would be a... Oh, we got a car. Car's heading down pit road here, Dave. This is the pit stop. Bryce Whitson comes in from second.
33 laps on his tires, maybe trying to short pit it a little bit.
Joshua Gillen also on pit road. Only seen two drivers decide to elect to take pit stops. That's a 4-tire pit stop for Bryce Whitson. Short pit a little bit, maybe try to gain a little bit of advantage. You know you're fast. All right. I better get my track map out because this is going to be interesting. Tell you what, I hate to say this, Dave, but the 81 machine, Travis Pryor, is in danger. I'm going a lap down. He's just now entered turn one, and the race leaders are right behind him. Something had to happen to Travis Pryor that we missed. Eric Tesk looks like he already pitted. He's about to go 2 laps down, but he's going to get one of those laps back because he's on fresher stickers. Yeah, no competition. That's just the difference between Tesk and Tesk's new tires and Evans's old tires. Bryce Sinisek hitting the pits. More cars hitting the pits. David Elliott, the number 10 car of Jeremy Rigney, the 75, Wally Tierheimer, all coming down pit road. All right, this has been the fuel window. So I'd say about 33 to whenever everybody else comes in. Richie Evans looks like, oh, the race leaders are all coming in. Wimbish almost, he misses pit road. He almost annihilated Mike Rominger. Now he's trying to get it up to full power without losing the handling of the race car. And that's costly. That's just as costly as overdriving your pit stall. John Wimbish almost rear-ended the number 9 of Mike Rominger on entrance. They were coming in hot and heavy. That's sometimes what you want to do. So instead of almost hitting Mike Rominger, he pulled it up to the right and went back out on the racetrack. He was really coming in hot and heavy. He's coming in right now, John Wimbish. Very costly. We'll have to see how this is going to cycle around for Wimbish. All right, but we have the number 7 just now exiting. That's Gary Wobolt. Number 28 is on pit road. That's Chris Voiles. Travis Pryor has already pitted. Number 2, Michael Atkins, has stayed out. Michael Atkins is now the only driver that has yet to make a pit stop. He has lapped the field.
I don't know if that's a good idea, though. I mean, because these guys on fresher tires are going to catch him real quick.
Yeah, look at this. Look at Whitson going by Atkins. That's huge. He's calling it right now down to the pits. So 33 to 39 laps was the fuel stint here. Something we'll have to keep an eye on as this race goes on. Michael Atkins Jr. brings it to the pits. This would hand over the race lead here in a little bit to Bryce Whitson. Bryce Whitson's already coming off turn number 4. And he just took the race lead away from Atkins. And what a look at the lead between Bryce Whitson and Bryce Sinisek. 3-lap difference. Whitson pitted 3 laps earlier than what Bryce Sinisek did, and it has created a 5-second gap between the 2 drivers. Man, Whitson means business, man. If he can maintain that lead, he'll be in good hands. Now, the leaders that before the pit stops began, which was Richie Evans, the 24 car, he's in 4th place, about 6.5 seconds from Bryce Whitson. Mike Rominger closely behind. And this has concluded pit stops. So, where did that put John Wimbish? John Wimbish, it put him outside the top 10 in 11th. Lots of time lost for John Wimbish, our pole sitter. Hopefully he's able to make it back up. Michael Atkins Jr. is actually okay. He's sitting in 8th right now. 10 seconds behind the race leader, about a second behind David Elliott. So, it was all right for Michael Atkins. I'm sure those tires will come in on the longer run. Everybody had a solid, on average, 14-second pit stop. Hunter McDaniel passing Marty Ray, who was already a lap down. All right. Fairly clean race this evening at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Always something I love to see whenever I'm watching any kind of race from Charlotte. And usually Charlotte does put on some really good races. Well, let's kind of give you a quick recap on everything. Bryce Whitson, currently your race leader here tonight, having a very solid run. Hopefully, it sounds like he might go to victory lane the way he's driving here tonight. Bryce Sinisek is currently in 2nd. Hunter McDaniel currently in 3rd. He's gunning down Sinisek little by little. Richie Evans currently in 4th right now. He was the race leader prior to the green flag pit stops. Mike Rominger in 5th. Those two, Richie Evans and Rominger, have been in the top 5 all night. Robert David Ballantyne coming from 14th spot, currently in 6th. Michael Atkins Jr. in 7th. 8th place, David Elliott. 9th place, Tommy Haynes. And Joshua Gillen rounding out the top 10. So that's your top 10 after the green flag pit stops. That was about 8-9 laps ago of the conclusion of those pit stops. We're going to take a quick commercial, a little bit of a commercial break here. So we'll let everybody refill their refreshments here. You got to refill mine. And we'll come back after these commercial break. You are watching the Extreme Motorsports 99.com Racing League of their NASCAR Xfinity Series Chase Race number 1. We'll be right back.
Don't let your first date be your last. Visit People Against Distracted Driving at PADD.org.
Hunter McDaniel has now secured the second spot right now. It looks like there's a lot of activity between Bryce Sinisek, Richie Evans, and Mike Rominger, so we'll have eyes on that. We are back live here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway for the Extreme Motorsports 99.com Racing League, their NASCAR Xfinity Series Chase Race number 1. Here, Bryce Whitson still holds the race lead, and it has shrunk since he had that race lead. It's now down about 2 seconds between Hunter McDaniel and Bryce Whitson, but Bryce Sinisek looks like he's under fire just a little bit from Richie Evans and Mike Rominger. Nothing producing of a side-by-side battle just yet, but he has fallen into their clutches. Michael Atkins Jr. has followed closely behind in 6th in the number 2 Mountain Dew Camaro. Otherwise, it's been pretty quiet, really, ever since the drop of the green flag. Actually, we had some noise here, some drivers battling pretty aggressively, but after the green flag pit stop, it's kind of spread everybody out a little bit. We got a car on the apron in turns 3 and 4. That's Marty Ray, whose night has become from bad to worse. He's coming into the pits. Travis Pryor is the first driver 1 lap down, so if a caution does come out, he will receive the lucky dog. And you can fold over 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th. Actually, 4th, 5th, and 6th underneath a blanket. That's Sinisek, Richie Evans, Mike Rominger, and Michael Atkins Jr. Atkins is going to go around the outside line on Rominger. Try to make it stick. He gets the run, but the door is going to close, it looks like. It almost closed on him. That is a battle back there for the top 5 spot. Actually, I take that back. This is 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th. Pretty good. This is actually the biggest battle on the Speedway. The chat's been pretty... I see you guys have been chatting it up tonight in the chat box here. That's awesome. Michael Atkins Jr. gets around the number 9 of Mike Rominger. He wants to utilize that higher line to get around that 24 car. So far, he's trying to make it work. Every time he gets a good run, the door closes. Atkins, he's going to come to the inside now. Single file racing down the back straightaway. Evans could not complete the pass. Atkins could not complete the pass on Evans. Actually, he did. What am I talking about? Live timing and scoring. Just, yeah, multitasking. Atkins is actually has the fresher tires out of these drivers right here, so that's why he is faster. Gunning down Sinisek now. Michael Atkins is actually making use of them fresher tires. You got to remember, Atkins was one of those drivers that stayed out the extra laps. He was the furthest anybody could go, which was 39 laps. The gap between 1st and 2nd place has not really changed. 2 seconds. Was 1.9 last time by, now it's back to 2 seconds. Well, Dave, we're going to be coming into the Green flag pit stops here soon. I think Whitson might be the first one down. He was one of the earliest drivers to make a pit stop. He is currently a race leader. That battle still continuing between Atkins and Sinisek for third. Atkins gets a nice run off of turn number 4, completes the pass on Bryce Sinisek. Very interesting. So if you have fresher tires and you stayed out on the longer, and you stayed out after some early pitters, you'll start to gain on them. But I think it's too big of a gap right now because it's 3 seconds where Michael Atkins is at. And I like Atkins' line. He's running that higher line around the track. Makes him faster down the straightaways. Michael Atkins Jr. is actually the fastest car in the top 5 right now by a 1/10. He is 2/10 quicker than a race leader. Have to keep an eye on that. Atkins is a driver that did not make the chase this season. It is Hunter McDaniel in the chase? I don't think so. I'm going to double check my notes. Hunter McDaniel, yes he is. He's 7th. So right now in the top, we have one driver in the top 5 that is not in the chase, and that is Michael Atkins Jr. Nothing's happening up towards the front. Looks like Rominger, he's been behind Richie Evans all race long, Dave. I don't know if you've been realizing that, but Mike Rominger has behind that 24 car all race long. Anybody further back here battling? Nope, no, I'm not really seeing anything. Car almost into the outside wall. That was Travis Pryor, but he's behind the number 5 of Randy Perdue. That is not for position because Pryor is actually 1 lap down. Eric Tesk has made a pit stop, so Eric Tesk is now the first driver 1 lap down.
Hunter McDaniel's down on pit road. Another green flag pit stop.
Very interesting. This is a good way to probably catch on Bryce Whitson a little bit. So Hunter McDaniel, 14.2 second pit stop. Uh-oh, I see Whitson coming into the pits. Whitson has been called in. 50 miles, is it 50 miles an hour for pit road speed? Yes, it is. Right into his pit box. Solid stop. Right sides are going to be going up. Crew's getting to work. Wally Tierheimer, Jeremy Rigney, all on the pit road. Michael Atkins Jr. is now the new race leader. We might see him out there for a little while yet. Bryce Whitson is done. Hunter McDaniel, he's starting to catch Whitson. Bryce Whitson's still on the apron. Getting back on the track now, trying to get up to speed. Hunter McDaniel, full head of steam down the back straightaway. He's caught Whitson. These two drivers are going to be fairly even. Only a lap difference, though, between those two drivers. And John Wimbish did crack the top 10 prior to these green flag pit stops beginning. He was 9th at the time. Right now he's 7th. Anybody else down pit road? Gary Walbolt is the only driver into the pits right now. So it'll be a little bit, I believe, before Atkins will come down pit road. So far, pit road is fairly quiet. Gary Walbolt now leaving the pits. Do you think I think we're going to see one more pit stop after this, Dave. Yeah, we will see one more pit stop.
Yeah, we got 64 laps to go, 69 laps completed, so we'll definitely have one more pit stop here tonight.
Sinesek to the pits. Bryce Sinesek on pit road. He is the Lone Ranger on pit road. Alright, anybody else going to be coming down to the pits? Yep. 24, Richie Evans, followed by Mike Rominger. I think those two drivers are teammates. Number 5, Randy Perdue into the pits. Ooh, slow entrance into their pit boxes, both for Richie Evans and Mike Rominger. Michael Atkins Jr., your race leader, heading into the pits. John Wimbish is now back up towards the race lead. Evans and Rominger off of pit road. So there's 3 drivers that have yet visited pit road. That is John Wimbish in the 12, 17 of Tommy Haynes, and Travis Pryor, who's back there in 11th. That's the 3 drivers who have yet to visit pit road under this segment. Bryce Whitson is ahead of Hunter McDaniel by 0.4 of a second. So once Wimbish and Haynes really hit pit road, that is going to complete the green flag pit stops. Now, I'm going to do some math here. Yeah, there's going to be at least one more pit stop, Dave. I don't. Well, I think their stint was like 38 laps, so everybody's going to have to at least make a pit stop, one more pit stop. I don't think fuel mileage would be a factor because they're only going. The longest we've seen was 39 laps, and right now we're on lap 75. Whitson now just retook the lead. So there's going to be at least, and Whitson actually pitted 8 laps ago, so there's going to be one more pit stop.
Yeah, the pit window is going to open right in about, I'd say, 25 laps is the earliest we may see people come down, top off with fuel, and be able to make it the remainder of the way. So it'll be interesting to see how this pit strategy is going to play out.
At least 110, lap 110 to 117 is my guess as far as pit road is concerned. Eric Tesk, championship leader, on the verge to go a lap down from Bryce Whitson. Tesk is doing everything he can to stay on the lead lap. Ooh, close. That almost got a bumper tag there from the race leaders. This is not what Whitson wants, though, and he's going to go underneath the inside of Tesk. Whitson, if he continues to battle with Tesk here, that means for Hunter McDaniel to catch up right on up to Whitson. Look how hard Tesk is battling for to stay on the lead lap. Travis Pryor exiting the pits. Two drivers that have actually lost a little time underneath that pit stop was Richie Evans and Mike Rominger. Do see John Wimbish and Jeremy Rigney battling for 9th back here. And Whitson could not get around Eric Tesk. Tesk still trying to fight it to keep on the lead lap. Yeah, actually another driver that had a bad pit stop, lost a lot of time, was Tommy Haynes, because he's dropped out of the top 10. now in 12th. So some leaders are in lap traffic right now, and the lap traffic just does not want to go, not want to give it up. I mean, and of course you can race to try to keep on the lead lap, and that's what Wally Tierheimer wants. Wally Tierheimer is right behind Hunter McDaniel. He's probably saying, "Hey, Eric Task, man, you got to keep fighting for that. I need you to stay in the lead lap because if caution comes out, I'm the first car one lap down." So realistically, between these four drivers, oh, contact! Oh, Eric Tesk and Bryce Whitson. Caution for the first time this evening.
Let's go back to the replay, take a look at that, and see if we can get a closer look here. With Eric Tesk and Bryce Sinisak, is Eric Tesk holding that middle line? Bryce came up. I don't know. It looked like Eric may have came down. He came up, but both fighting over the same territory. And unfortunately, that is going to put the 96 of Eric Tesk into the outside wall. He's going to have some more damage, but no other cars involved for our first caution here tonight.
First caution this evening. Eric Tesk, our championship leader coming into this event, has brought out the first caution. Contact with race leader Bryce Whitson. Pit road is open right now. I want to say Wally Tierheimer. I'm gonna double check because he is the lucky dog eligible per person. Question is iRacing going to give it to him? iRacing gives a lucky dog to Tierheimer. And what I liked underneath that when that caution came out on how Tierheimer was trying to avoid the grass, because any kind of contact with the grass, the wall, or another car, it does not give you eligibility for the lucky dog. So great avoidance there. David Elliott having a big problem on pit road, trying to get into his pit box. Bryce Whitson is off of pit road, along with Hunter McDaniel, Bryce Sinisak, Robert David Ballantyne, and Michael Atkins Jr., the top five, exiting the pits. Not really seeing any significant damage, actually no damage at all, on Bryce Whitson's part. That could have been netcode too, because if they actually did make contact, there would have been damage on both cars.
Well, here's the thing is, they may have came down on pit road, but they're still going to have to pit one more time.
Yeah, you're right. It would be a very long stretch to make it to the end here. So, let's see. I'm going to go, the most we've seen was 39 laps. Well, we're on, what, 83? Coming on lap 83. So, 83 plus 39, that's about 122.
Yeah, they're
lap
still going to have to pit.
Yep. Alright, I got to catch my breath here. Pretty good at green flag racing from these boys. I've always enjoyed the Extreme Motorsports 99 guys. I've watched them in the past too. They have a tremendous website. I love their website. I think it's the best looking website out there. That's just one man's opinion, but holy cow. I like how I can just click on the series. You know, you throw your mouse over one of the series, it lights up either green, red, or whatever the color may be. And you click on that, get all the details. Pretty nifty stuff. Maybe one of these days I'll have an interest in driving with the Extreme Motorsports 99 guys. These guys actually were on an episode of the Sim Pit. Not sure if you've heard of that, Dave, but...
Actually, yeah, I think that was one of the first years that I broadcasted Extreme Motorsports. I remember that.
Yeah. All right. So, we're coming off of turn number 4 here. We'll see if the pace car lights are turned off. Then we will reset the fuel. Reset the fuel. Yeah, I wish. Reset the field. Caution lights are off. Some drivers are going to take the wave around here, which means they did not pit under the caution flag. So we do got a new race leader, though. It is Mr. John Wimbish. Wimbish stayed out, and Tommy Haynes. Those two drivers pitted about 9 laps ago, including caution flags. So they just must pitted just before the caution came out. So John Wimbish, Tommy Haynes in second, first and second. Bryce Whitson in third, Hunter McDaniel 4th, Bryce Sinisek in 5th, Robert David Ballantyne 6th, Michael Atkins in 7th, 8th, Richie Evans, 9th, Mike Rominger, and rounding out the top 10, Jeremy Rigney. Going back, green flag racing here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Ace cars in. 48 laps to go. We're back, green flag racing. Good start by two drivers, John Wimbish and Bryce Whitson. Whitson already taking over the second spot, all over the back bumper of John Wimbish. He goes to the inside, down the back straightaway, using a little side draft to slow him down as much as he can. Even though I don't think side drafting really works on iRacing. That's just my opinion. But there it goes. Whitson to the lead. Hunter McDaniel follows closely behind. Hunter to second. Wimbish to third. Wimbish stuck on that higher line. Still trying to fight for it. Don't know if it's going to work. Here comes Tommy Haynes underneath John Wimbish. Oh, he's got a rear view mirror full of Bryce Sinisek and Michael Atkins Jr. doing a little bunt drafting. Nowhere for these guys to go. Nobody really taking advantage of a three-wide scenario. Really nowhere to stick the nose in there. That is a heavy-duty battle back there with Bryce Sinisek. That's 4th on back. 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th. Robert David Ballantyne thought about going through the middle, thought better of it. Stuck on that higher line behind Atkins Jr. Look at the number 2, bump drafting down the back straightaway on the 17 of Tommy Haynes. Man, you want to go for the position, but you really ain't got nowhere to go just yet. Going around the outside. 3 wide coming off turn number 4. Atkins. Haynes. Evans. Clowns to the left of me. Jokers to my right for Tommy Haynes. And he is really backing up. He lost about 4 or 5 positions right there. Richie Evans trying to get underneath the number 2 and the number 20 of Ballantyne and Atkins. Tommy Haynes has now slipped back there, battling with Jeremy Rigney for 9th. Now John Wimbish is in trouble. He just got caught by Atkins Jr. John Wimbish, pole sitter of tonight's festivities, on the higher line, can't able to keep the position. The fresher tires by about 7 laps. Takes the better of you. Hunter McDaniel is about a 10th away from the race leader, but the bigger action is where John Wimbish is at. Wimbish doing everything he can to hang on for position. Right now he's under fire from Richie Evans. And everybody on the bottom line, you got Evans, Ballantyne, and Rominger. Whoa, that was some pretty exciting green flag racing right there, Dave.
Yeah, they're putting it all on the line here for this first race of the chase.
Have to, though. Just have to. I mean, you're coming to the chase. You got to show your stuff now. You got to show everything. Wimbish is going to continue to fall back just a little bit. Battle for the top spot it might happen. Hunter McDaniel's really trying to gun down Bryce Whitson here. He might get the run. Whitson's going to play a little defense. That's okay. You're going to try to you're going to try to protect your spot up towards the front. If you believe the clean air on the track position is important, I completely agree. Tell you what, I've been in Bryce Whitson's shoes before, where where I'm trying to protect the race lead and I'm blocking like that. And here we go, battle for the race lead. I've been in the same shoes, and I've always got yelled at because of it. Tell you what, they're racing though. That's your job is the race. Whenever you come on iRacing, this is what this is your job, and you're supposed to have fun doing it. Hunter McDaniel going for the race lead now underneath Bryce Whitson. Whitson gets a very nice run off of turn number 4. Battle for third. Michael Atkins just got by Bryce Sinisek. Hunter McDaniel doing everything he can to try to fight for that race lead. Things have calmed down for the moment. Wimbish has now dropped to 7th and has fallen into the clutches of Jeremy Rigney and Robert David Ballantyne. Battle for the race lead again. Hunter McDaniel getting underneath. You got a fender underneath on corner exit of Bryce Whitson. Gonna dive into turn number 3. Whitson is just so strong in that middle groove, higher line around the racetrack. Gets a perfect run off of turn number 4 and still able to secure his race lead. I'm reading the chat right now. Some funny comments. Thank you everybody for all the chat here tonight. You guys are really chatting it up. That's awesome. I'm keeping an eye on it. So Hunter McDaniel is he's really trying to get underneath Whitson, but can't really get past him just yet. Atkins Jr., Sinisek, Evans, and Rominger have all are all behind each other. Nothing really battling right there. Wimbish has fallen into the clutches of Jeremy Rigney now, and Rigney is having a hard time getting around Wimbish back here. Right now, they're going to go side-by-side. This is currently their first side-by-side battle for position. Jeremy Rigney having a tremendous day, coming from 18th, now past Wimbish for 7th. Nothing happened up towards the front just yet. I am still keeping an eye on it. Let's see who else is back there. Robert David Ballantyne and David Elliott. And Wally Tierheimer. Tierheimer was a lucky dog under this last caution. Tierheimer is now to 11th, right? Nope, 10th. That was a battle for 10th. David Elliott just lost a couple spots in 2 laps. Battle for the race lead once again. Hunter McDaniel underneath Bryce Whitson. Tell you what, he's still trying to get Whitson. Whitson just keeps getting them runs off the higher side of the racetrack. These guys are giving each other a lot of room. Oh, they're pretty even off of turn number 2 that time by. I think Whitson's got a little better of a run. Down in turn number 3. Let's see what Hunter McDaniel can do. This has been a hard part of the racetrack for Hunter McDaniel. Cannot make it stick on the bottom. Atkins Jr. is going to hit pit road right now. Michael Atkins Jr. hitting the pits. He was 0.8 of a second behind the leaders when he pitted, and he was in 3rd. Interesting calls. Interesting. Bunch of drivers hitting pits, though. I got Wimbish, Tommy Haynes, all hitting the pit road.
Well, the pit window is open with only 34 laps to go, so they can make it. Getting down on pit road, trying to get those tires and that fuel to maybe get a good run here, so we'll see how it plays out.
Robert David Ballantyne has the only driver this time by that pulled off into the pits. This might be a good move by Atkins Jr. and especially John Wimbish. Wimbish was struggling ever since the drop of the restart, the green flag on the restart. Now he's going to be out there with fresher tires, and he knows that now, okay, now I can make it to the end, but I'm going to gain a lot of track time. Bunch of drivers hitting pits now. Richie Evans, Wally Tierheim, or excuse me, Mike Rominger. Those 2 drivers have been sticking like glue. Or in other words, those 2 drivers are bread and butter, or peanut butter and jelly. That's what those 2 drivers have been all day, and right next to each other. Well, they pit.
I like the analogy of Pop-Tarts and Mountain Dew. Those are my 2 favorites.
Touche. Nice. That sounds really delicious right now. Even though it's probably gonna too sweet for my teeth. All right, so the green flag pit stop. Now here's what I'm a little worried of though. With Bryce Witz and Hunter McDaniel, I just wonder, because you're going to lose time to like Michael Atkins Jr., who came down when he was in third place, only 0.8 of a second behind. Are you going to be losing time? Hunter McDaniel pits. Here we go. This would be a call sign for Bryce Witz in the pit. Hunter McDaniel could not get by Bryce Whitson at all during that green flag stint, but now he's going to take it down pit road. I'll put Bryce Sinisek, Jeremy Rigney, David Elliott, and Randy Perdue, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. How about that? I just counted Eric Tesk. He's been out there for about 39 laps now, and he's still on the lead lap. But the problem is he's about 20 seconds behind the race leader. And he's pitting right now, 39 laps. That is the longest stint I've actually been seeing it. All right. Bryce Whitson, Jeremy Rigney, David Elliott, and Randy Perdue have yet to make a pit stop. Looks like Whitson's going to stay out. This is a surprising call. The only reason why I'm saying that is just because Whitson had a knack for pitting just a little early, and it worked out in his favor. But right now, he's going to stay out. Well, I would too, but if Hunter McDaniel already pitted, I probably would have been down pit road already. Because you've seen how much even 2 laps can probably make between the 2 drivers. I think he's coming down pit road right now. Yes, he is. But guess what?
We're going to go on board here with Michael Atkins for this pit stop. Let's see how he reacts during this pit stop. What he's actually going to do. 2 tires, 4 tires, or just a tank of fuel.
You mean Bryce Whitson, or?
Yeah, we're on board here with the 99 of Bryce Whitson Jr.
Yep. All right. 4 right sides are up. Left sides are going to go up right here. That was a pretty quick right side. Pretty quick left sides, it's looking like. Coming off of pit road. Very smooth. 50 miles an hour. And he's away. Gotta stay on the apron of the racetrack, because if you just go to the racetrack, you're risking yourself and getting hit. Just like that, like with Wimbish, Evans, the number 9 of Rominger, and Ballantyne hitting you in the back bumper. Gotta be they all got rearview mirrors, they all got a relative screen. So Whitson falls in line. He's gonna go to the higher side of the racetrack to get around Randy Perdue. Oh, contact between Tommy Haynes and Randy Perdue. Nothing, no harm, no foul, it looks like. Just a lot of time costs probably for Tommy Haynes. Randy Perdue is the race leader, though, just so everybody knows that. He's on pit road now in the 5. So after this cycles around, it will be Michael Atkins Jr. retaking the race lead. Or taking the race lead for the first time today, excuse me. All right, folks. So this is how we're gonna play it here. Just trying to get all my stuff up here, ready to go. I'm gonna review the top 10 here after the green flag pit stops, and we'll take a final commercial break. So Michael Atkins Jr. currently your race leader by 2.1 seconds over Hunter McDaniel. Richie Evans is in 3rd. He's followed closely by Mike Rominger, John Wimbish, and Robert David Ballantyne. This is probably the closest battles on the racetrack, with Bryce Sinisek in 7th. That is 3rd through 7th. Bryce Whitson is back there in 8th. He's going to be catching these cats eventually here pretty soon. A lot of time lost, but the thing is, he's about 5.7 seconds behind Michael Atkins. Tommy Haynes in 9th, and Wally Tierheimer rounding out the top 10. How will this play out? Can Bryce Whitson make up for that lost time? You know he's going to be coming into battle with these cats. They're 3 wide already, just ahead of him. I hate to go to commercial break here. It's actually heating up just a little bit. Robert David Ballantyne underneath John Wimbish. The 12 of John. Oh boy, these guys almost hitting the wall here. Bryce Sinisek on the bottom side of the racetrack. Here comes Whitson. Fresh tires and all. Feeling like Superman out there. Just following the same footsteps as Sinisek. He's actually gaining time on the leaders, despite being in traffic for Bryce Whitson. You know, Sinisek is not going to give up that easy. All right. Well, while this is going on, let's see if Bryce Whitson can get back up towards the front. We're going to take our final commercial break here, and then we'll be right on back, so don't go away. Welcome back to Charlotte Motor Speedway for the Extreme Motorsports 99.com Racing League of their NASCAR Xfinity Series, Chase Race number 1. We are under a second caution for this evening. There was contact between pole sitter John Wimbish and Wally Tierheimer down in turns 1 and 2 that brought out the caution flag. Every driver has made a pit stop. In other words, every driver can now make it to the end. And practically it was like that before prior to the caution flag. So let's reset the field for you. Bryce Whitson is currently your race leader. He's on 4 tires. Everybody's on 4 tires, by the way. Bryce Whitson, Bryce Sinisek, Mike Rominger, Hunter McDaniel, Richie Evans, Robert David Ballantyne, Wally Tierheimer, Tommy Haynes, Michael Atkins Jr., and Jeremy Rigney rounding out the top 10.
Good thing also there is Travis Pryor. He stayed out. He has got 11 laps on his tires, but he is back on the lead lap.
That's good news. Here we go. Gonna get about, 15 to go here, Dave? And we're back green flag racing.
16 to go at the line.
Yep, 16 to go. Wow, good start by Bryce Whitson. Bryce Sinisek is in second, and Hunter McDaniel on a higher line. He's battling with Mike Rominger right now. Hunter knows he's fast. He's just trying to get there. Oh, cars in the wall. Wally Tierheimer. Everybody's taking evasive action. Car went through the grass area. Oh, we're all hitting each other back here. Jeremy Rigney almost got ran over. Man. Close call, fellas. Close call. John Wimbish back there with Eric Tesk, 15th. Tierheimer, he did hit the wall off turn 4, but he's still battling with David Elliott right now. Wally Tierheimer is now in 10th. He just almost hit the wall again, and now he's getting passed by Marty Ray. And the 7, Gary Woble. Man, Tierheimer is so strong on that higher line, though. He gets right into the gas and tries to keep up. A lot of battling going on the racetrack this evening right now in the later part of this race. Hunter McDaniel trying to make use of the higher line. Cannot get it done, though. Trying to battle with Mike Rominger for 3rd. Does not get the pass. So Hunter McDaniel still in 4th. It is a hornet's nest from 10th on back of Wally Tierheimer. Marty Ray on the bottom. Some of these drivers are now seeing the top 10 under a green flag condition for the first time, especially if it doesn't involve pit stops. It is a hornet's nest back here, though. Oh, trouble! Number 7's going around! That's Gary Wobold. Saves it! No caution!
We are going to have to go back to the replay. Let's take a look here at the 7. See exactly what happened here. Is Wally Tierheimer was right behind him. Oh, a little bump from the 75. He goes around John T. Wimbish, taking evasive maneuvers. Eric Test, but good job in there by the 7 of Gary Wolbert to save that machine.
How did John Wimbish miss the 7 car? I mean, he made contact with Tierheimer very briefly, and he just missed the 7 of Gary Wobold. Good eyes by everybody. Holy cow. That could have been bigger. We could have seen our 3rd caution right there. Man, battle is heating up for 3rd, though. Rominger and Hunter McDaniel are going at it, with Sinisek just ahead of them. Actually, that's Hunter McDaniel trying to go for 3rd. Hunter McDaniel's trying to utilize that higher line, trying to get the runoff corner exit. Evans is going after Ballantyne for 5th. Hunter McDaniel trying to... It is time to go.
Yeah, we're 9 laps to go, so, I mean, they got to get it done.
Problem is, you're on the same fresh set of tires, so it makes everybody, quite frankly, equal around you. Good pass by Hunter McDaniel. He wants to go for more. Putting pressure now on Bryce Sinisek. Robert David Ballantyne secured his spot so far for 5th. He was under attack by Richie Evans. Still is. Got Michael Atkins back there as well. Mike Rominger now is going to try to apply the same move of around Hunter McDaniel, trying to go around the higher line. Can't get it done yet. Here goes Hunter McDaniel on the outside line. Let's see how much of a run he could get on Sinisek. Cannot get there just yet. We do got Evans battling with Atkins Jr. for 6th, along with Ballantyne, who's just ahead of that. But realistically, it's all kinds of battling within the top 10 and top 5 that's going on right now. My cat out front, Bryce Whitson, sure is loving these kind of battles back here. I'd be loving it if I was race leader. Y'all keep battling, man. I'm working with this clean air. Rominger's trying to push a little pressure on Hunter McDaniel here. Cannot complete anything. Atkins Jr. is trying to go around the outside, almost hitting the wall on Richie Evans. That will be a battle for 6th. So two battles going on, relatively similar. You got Bryce Sinisek on back. That is 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Sinisek, McDaniel, and Rominger. Then you got Ballantyne, Evans, and Atkins battling. You can fold over a blanket, really. But all this battling within the top 5 has now brought Ballantyne closer and closer to Rominger. They're getting closer, little by little.
4 laps to go. Next flag will end the race here, Tanner.
Yes, sir. I wish iRacing had green-white checkers, but they do not. They have not implemented that, and I don't know if it'll happen. But nonetheless, that is an indication that the next flag is going to end the race. We see a caution. The race will end under caution. Ooh, it's tight battling right now. You got Richie Evans going underneath David Ballantyne right now. At least she's trying to. Michael Atkins trying to go around the outside of Evans back there. This is some pretty good battling for the top 5. Nothing really happening with the first 4 cars. Mike Rominger is trying to get the runs on Hunter McDaniel, but cannot complete it. But that battle back there is brewing up. Atkins on the outside. Evans is on the bottom. With the head of him, Robert David Ballantyne. Looks like the 2 and the 24 almost doored back here. 3 laps to go, or 2 to go. 2 laps remaining. Mike Rominger trying to get underneath Hunter McDaniel. Battle for 3rd. 2 battles going on within the top 10. Rominger, McDaniel, Atkins, and Evans. Atkins is actually being very aggressive here. He was not 100% cleared, but he made it work. Looks like he was. He had been clear if he got right in front of Evans. Michael Atkins Jr., white flag lap this time by. Down the back straightaway, Bryce Whitson. He's been a championship contender this season. He got a victory in the regular season. Been a contender all race long. He's led the most laps. Coming off turn number 4, and it's going to be Bryce Whitson winning the first chase race of the 2018 Extreme Motorsports 99.com's Racing League of their NASCAR Xfinity Series. Congratulations to Bryce Whitson. Bryce Sinisek takes it home 2nd, and 3rd place, Hunter McDaniel. All right. And by the way, that battle back there between Evans, Ballantyne, and Atkins, Atkins got 5th, Ballantyne got 6th, and Evans got 7th. Good race by everybody this evening. Only 2 cautions. Bryce Whitson burns it down at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. I do believe he is from the Charlotte area. We'll have to ask him about that. I'm going to have to ask him. I think he is. But Bryce, who is a part of Hendrick Motorsports in real life, knows how to get it done in these iRacing races and these leagues on iRacing. What a fast driver, well-respected man. But hey, don't go away, folks, just because this race is done. You know, we're not done because we're going to talk to the top 3 drivers right now. So let's bring in our winner, Bryce Whitson. Let's see, is he even in here? Oh yeah, he is. But looks like Sinesek's ready to talk. I see Whitson's got his mic muted. So let's talk to Bryce Sinesek, who's finished in 2nd. Bryce Sinesek, do you have a copy?
Yep.
Hey Bryce, well, you had a fairly decent run all race long. You were bouncing up and down the leaderboard within the top 10. I don't think you ever led a lap today, but you still come home with a solid performance of 2nd place. Tell me about your day.
Yeah, we qualified pretty decent, 5th place, and we more or less kind of just held up in there the whole race. I think we were doing pretty good on that last run. Then we got that caution, which I didn't know how that was gonna go, but we managed to gain a few spots through there. But I think we were holding off Bryce pretty decently though. Before we had that caution come out, we were getting through some slower traffic or getting through cars that had older tires. But we both got good pit stops there at the end. He just got a better one than me, and I made a few small mistakes, I think, towards the end. I missed my marks a couple of times and couldn't quite get to his bumper. But 2nd place, even though, it kind of sucks to be 2nd, is the next best thing, and I'll take what I get.
It's got to give you good momentum because you are one of the championship chase drivers. Coming into this race, you were 10th in the points as far as the chase is concerned. And this 2nd place has got to give you a whale of confidence and a great shot on a step closer to win the championship. How was the car handling out there for you today? It seemed like handling wasn't really too much of an issue for all drivers. Maybe on a long run on the tighter side. But how was the car for you today?
Yeah, through practice it felt a bit tight after about 15 laps, but then I made a few adjustments to my driving and how I made it through the corners, and if I just adjusted to it differently, I seemed to get a better feel for it.
Right.
More or less like still the same, when you get inside of someone, you're still gonna probably push up after like 15-20 laps, but you could hang with them pretty decently. It was a whole lot of momentum, so it was honestly really decent from, I think, past races.
That's got to keep a driver happy. You got an overcast setting like that provides great racing that we've seen today, and handling pretty good, especially on the long run. That sounds very positive feedback from you there, Bryce. Now, since you finished 2nd place, this has got to give you some good confidence for you heading into the next race, the championship race, which is going to be the chase race of Pocono Raceway next week, 70 laps. How do you feel about getting one step closer to victory lane at Pocono? Do you feel like you got a shot at Pocono?
I love Pocono. I believe we're going to the new one though, so that'll be something to, I guess, get used to. And the last time I ran Pocono in this league, it was back my 2nd season in trucks, and almost had a shot to win that one as well. But my only concern is that when you saw Tusk win his first race of the season, it ended up being like 4 or 5 in a row, something like that. And now that you got Bryce winning, or you got Whitson winning 2 in a row, has me a bit concerned on what that's going to look like the rest of the season. But we'll do our best and probably try and put a little bit of extra time in and see what we can do for next week.
Absolutely. Well, Bryce, you had a great run here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway here tonight. Hopefully you continue this momentum and this run heading into Pocono next week. Best of luck to you next week.
Thank you.
That was Bryce Sinesek, folks, finishing in the 9th spot here tonight. Let's go one up. Our race winner, Bryce Whitson, is ready to go. And Bryce, first off, do you have a copy?
Yes, sir. Tanner, how you doing, man?
Doing great, and I'm sure you are doing a lot better than I am because you're now in Victory Lane here at Charlotte, and I know you're around that area from my understanding. So it's got to feel great to win in your backyard, and nonetheless, NASCAR's backyard. And of course, this is the first chase race of the Xfinity Series here for Extreme Motorsports 99. So congratulations, first off. Congrats on the win, and how'd you pull it off? You seem like you made it look easy out there. It looked like the handling of the car was just decent for you guys out there, and you made your pit stops just flawless. And as far as passing people at the start of the race, you made it so easy. At least that's what it looked like, but probably a little bit of a different scenario from the cockpit point of view of Bryce Whitson. Tell me all about it.
Oh, Tanner, I mean, yeah, the car drove really great tonight. They gave us a really good setup tonight here in the fixed Xfinity series. Really, my strategy was just to split that thing in even splits, and I knew I had to get out before everybody else, so I made that first one just one lap early, so I could get that little bit of jump and get up to the lead there. Really, this thing came down to that last pit stop, and I've got to give a big thank you to the Hendrick Motorsports pit crew and all the guys on the pit because they got me out of there really fast. I think I leapfrogged from about 7th or 8th there to the lead on that pit stop. Without that, it wouldn't have been possible. I mean, it was really tough to pass out here. We were all going really fast. I mean, these guys didn't make it easy on me for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, there was one point of the race where you guys were going on green flag pit stops trying to make it to the end, and you pitted much later than your usual self there, Bryce. And at the end of the pit stops, you were about 7th or 6th on the timing and scoring with about 5 seconds behind. If that would have stayed green flag, do you think you would have been able to hunt down the race leaders?
That was the chance I took. I knew splitting that run in half was going to make it the fastest on track time. It was just really going to depend on how hard it was to get through those few cars there that were in front of me. I don't know that I would have caught Hunter, but I think I would have at least finished second. And Hunter probably would end up first. But, that's one of those decisions you have to make. And, at the time I thought, well, I'm going to split this thing in two and see what happens.
Absolutely, and now you win for 2 in a row now. You won at Michigan on the final regular season schedule a week ago, and now tonight you win here at Charlotte to kick off the chase. How do you feel about going 3 in a row at Pocono Raceway for 70 laps next week?
Man, Pocono Raceway is such a different beast than these last 2 tracks. I don't know. It all depends. Pocono depends a lot on the draft. It really depends on the setup that iRacing gives us. We'll go from here. We'll take this win and keep moving through. I feel like this one was earned. The last one I won kind of on strategy. This one I feel like I won a little bit more on speed. So, we're showing what we've got, and hopefully we'll continue to do that through the next 4 races of the chase. But I can tell you this, it's great to start out on top.
You are really showing what you got. It's all that consistency, and now you've gone to victory lane 2 in a row. Tell you what, those drivers who were doing very good in the regular season they have to watch out for Bryce Whitson in these final 5 races now, I believe it is, for these chase races. So congratulations, Bryce, and we will see you at Pocono. Best of luck.
Hey, thank you, Tanner, and I want to tell everybody out there, please, if you get a chance, visit bethematch.org and become a bone marrow donor. It's quick, it's painless, and, you might save somebody's life. I'm going to continue to push that all year. Without Be The Match, I wouldn't be here today, and, I will say this real quick. I just had my day 100 bone marrow biopsy, and as of day 100, I was leukemia free, and so that's about 1/3 of the way there, so we got to keep going. Got 2 more to go.
You're really inspirational there, Bryce, because I always see on Facebook, and plus you always say it too on your car, #never give up, and that just those small little words can make a huge difference and become very inspirational. So thank you, Bryce, for that too. So you keep fighting, Bryce.
Hey, thank you, Tanner. Thanks everybody out there. Hope we put on a good race for you again next week.
As Bryce Whitson, folks, in the Be The Match Camaro, finishing P1 in victory lane here tonight at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Now let's go down to 3rd place to Mr. Hunter McDaniel. And Hunter, do you have a copy?
Yes, sir. Loud and clear.
Man, you were showing some of your stuff here in this race, all race long, I should say, because you started 11th, and at one time you were trying to battle for the race lead on Bryce Whitson, couldn't get it done, but you were still trying to fight every inch that you can. You got around Mike Rominger in the closing stages of that race. Tell me about your race, man. You seemed on fire out there.
Yeah, it's bittersweet getting that third because I really felt like we had one of the fastest long run cars of the night. And I knew that with lap times being so close on the short run, Whitson definitely had us the edge on the short run. But I knew if I could just hang with him, that in the long run that we could leapfrog him, and we did on those last pit stops. I knew that I had the long run speed, and I knew that I could save tires, and I was confident that we could have gotten the win if that thing would have stayed green. But that's the risk that you run pitting like that. So unfortunately didn't work out for us, but we showed speed, didn't get to lead any laps, but passed a lot of cars on a track where most people it was difficult to pass. So it was a lot of fun, and I think we're looking good for the rest of the chase. Coming in third, only 2 points behind the leader going into the next race, so we're definitely happy.
Yeah, you came into this race like 7th in the championship in the chase wise, and now you're like 3rd now, and that's got to give you some heavy momentum right here. And you seem like a very fast guy. Haven't led a lot of laps this season. I think the most laps you led so far this season was like 2 laps, but that's okay because your finishes is what's getting you up there in the point standings. I tell you what, the car seemed like it was handling great for you. If there was one thing in this race today that you maybe could have changed, what could it be?
Yeah, definitely qualifying. I think if we could have gotten out there originally and just hung with those guys and not have to track them down, I think we could have taken the lead away from the top guys, because even on that first run, we had closed in over a couple seconds just on the front pack as they were battling. So I think if I would have qualified better, that long run speed would have prevailed, and we could have gotten out front and led some laps. But these guys are fast and they push hard, and so may not lead a lot of laps, but I think this strategy is going to hold true, and we're going to get a couple wins here in this postseason.
You're looking like you're a real fast guy out there, especially you showed it today, too. How do you feel like getting a better qualifying run at Pocono Raceway and possibly visiting Victory Lane for the first time this season at Pocono? It just seems like you're on a roll lately.
Yeah, I love Pocono. I live right by it, so it's definitely a track that I want to do well at, and it runs like a road course, and I think I have a little bit of road course speed on some of these guys, so I feel confident that we're going to be competitive, and definitely going to work on our qualifying and short run speed, because I think that's where we're lacking the most. But with Pocono, long green flag runs, green flag pit stops, and you got to be consistent. So that's what we're definitely going to focus on, along with the other stuff.
Great positive words coming from you there, Hunter. I mean, even though you got a good 3rd place here, you're not taking anything away from yourself. That's awesome. Congratulations on the 3rd place finish here tonight, and best of luck to you at Pocono next week.
Thank you, Tanner. Have a great night.
That was Hunter McDaniel, folks, finishing in the 3rd position tonight. Let's go ahead and do the rundown of the unofficial race results. Bryce Whitson visiting Victory Lane for the 2nd time this season and getting the first win of the chase. Bryce Senesek finishes in 2nd. Hunter McDaniel finishes 3rd, coming from 11th tonight. Mike Rominger finishes in 4th. Michael Atkins Jr. finishes in 5th, coming from 10th. Robert David Ballantyne finishes in 6th. He started 14th. Richie Evans started 3rd, finishes in 7th. Tommy Haynes finishes in 8th. Marty Ray comes back with a 9th place finish, so good job on Marty's part, even though he was outside the top 10 most of the day. David Elliott rebounds for a top 10 finish after a very slow start that lost a lot of speed at the start of the race for David Elliott, so he gets a solid top 10 finish out of it. Jeremy Rigney finishes in 11th. Pole sitter John Wimbish finishes in 12th tonight. Chris Voiles finishes 13th, started 20th. Eric Tesk, who came in as a championship leader, will not come out as a championship leader, so Tesk has got some work to do. He finishes 14th. Wally Tierheimer finishes in 15th. Gary Wobolt, 16th. 17th place is Travis Pryor on the last car on the lead lap. Randy Perdue, 25 laps down, finishes 18th. Joshua Gillen, 19th. And 20th, Steve Dutz. Brett Kuhl finishes into blackjack position, 21st. And Nick Hunt did not start the race today, and neither did Andy Starcher. So 21 drivers actually took the green flag in tonight's event. Dave, final thoughts of the Charlotte Motor Speedway here, of the race that we've seen today, and what you're looking forward to at Pocono.
Well, what a great way to start the race here at Charlotte. It was an awesome race. Drivers showed their talent. I look for the same thing next week in Pocono.
Same here, and that long green flag runs, Pocono is going to be a different animal because it's 3 distinctive corners, 3 very different corners, which we will talk about in a week's time. But before we let everybody go, we got a couple thank yous to give out. First off, thank you to the organizers of the league for putting on such a great show with their drivers. And thanks to the team here tonight. Also, a big, huge thanks for everybody who participates with OSR Network and Dave Everly up here in the booth, doing all the double duty that he does every single week. Thanks to all of you fans out there keeping the chat up as the race was continuing here tonight. Thanks to all the drivers put on such a great show. Next week, same time, same place, Pocono Raceway for race number 2 of the chase of the Xfinity Series for ExtremeMotorsports99.com. And by the way, if you want to check out these guys, go to www.extrememotorsports99.com. Extreme with an XTREMEM motorsports99.com. All right, everybody, I'm Tanner Sharp. This is David Everly. Good night, everybody.